Hello everybody and welcome back to Alma. So we're just on taking, this is our trailer load from our first cornfield that we've cut. So we're just on going to take this to our corn dryer so we can put this in and get this going. It is a fairly fast production, so it's in no real rush to get this in. It's the second one, isn't it? So let's just continue over to there. And we've got a few things to do today. So we have the main cornfield. That needs to go and be cut. Well, harvested. So we'll make a start on that straight away. We still have got our combine is in the first cornfield that we're doing. It still does have a little bit left in, but we're going to get that moved up to that field. What I am going to do, I think I have decided, is once we've cut this field, we're going to sell our combine, we're going to sell the header, and we're going to sell the trailer. Because then that's going to be something that, come the winter, when we start making money, we can then go and swap. I've also decided that I think, if I just show you on the map, our next field purchase, or land purchase, is going to be field 40, which let's go to this one so you can see. It's going to be farmland 40, so which we can afford now. Oh, we've also got this. Yes, £30,000. We're going to do that because there is the grain museum, which we can start to build, which is up over there on the map, the top left. So I'm toying with getting that bought, and then, well, sorry, not getting that bought, getting a sawmill bought. So then we can start to try and build it. There is a sawmill right next to it, which we could lead timber up to, or we can make our own, place our own sawmill down near where that bit of woodland is, and then we can just lead from up there. Do not turn into me. Okay, brilliant. So right, we'll get this to the farm, and you can join me. You'll come back once we're in the combine. So what do we reckon? Do we think we'll be able to get this auger in? Oh, I've just driven in. I think we're going to... Oh, there's no collision there though. Is there a collision here? Okay, yeah, there is. Can we get this in here at all? I'm just trying to save us putting it into the trailer and or filling the trailer up a little bit more than what we would like. Is that going to go in? Come on. Be nice to us. Let's try and work it. No. Right, I'm going to give this one more go. Okay, yeah, that's not working. Let's fold it up. We'll have to just go dump it into the trailer. So this would have been the sensible option to begin with. And when I was on about the selling the combine and selling the header, we're going to keep this header because this is the biggest one for the John Deere. So it'd be silly to sell this, then to just have to rebuy it again. So yeah, it'll be the grain header and the grain trailer to go. Alright, with that empty, we can get that done. Let's unfold the header. If I remember rightly, this field, what did we do it in? Did we do it in 2 or 3 time lapses? It was a fair chunk of time, I know that. And then this next year will be a soybean field, because obviously we can make a lot of money from soybeans. So let's get this set on to steering assist. It's 2 headlands, yes please. Alright, we will start to try and make a dent in here. Wow. So I forgot that when we did this field the first time, it was never fertilised. And with us, we've managed to obviously plough it, lime it and fertilise it and do herbicide. So it's had everything this field really needs. So if we just hop out, we can just have a quick look. Yeah, there we go. Expected yield 123% out of potential 125. So we are, found my way out of there. Yes, we're making the max pretty much of what we could get. I think the only thing we could do better would be to mulch it. But right, we will take this up to our corn dryer and get this tipped in, because I realised we never even started the production off in there when we tipped that first load in. I am hoping that once we get the headland off, which we're doing two headlands, once we get them off, that it won't feel like it'll take as long. I'm just trying to remember whether we could do an up-down, when we actually start splitting the field off into islands, as it were, whether we could get down once and then back up again, or whether it was one. I seem to think it may have been one and maybe 3/4. But it'll be interesting to see whether we can even do one at the moment. I think we may just be able to. But anyways, I'm not complaining, because the more corn we have, the more corn we have to dry, which means that we'll make more money. Which I've almost just driven off again without setting off the production. So let's go to here, corn dryer. Let's activate that, and we'll make our way back to the field. So I have toyed with letting the worker do it, but I know what's going to happen is we're going to, because it's filling up so fast, we're going to spend all our time sort of having to pull it out, like to jump in, reverse it back, and all that sort of thing. So I don't know whether it would be worth doing that or not. Or if we go once it's there, because we'll get another full load by the time it gets up to here, because this is where we started that second load. If we put it onto a worker there, because we also have water to get to the greenhouses and we have pallets to move. Right, so I've decided we're going to empty this into here so that the combine is empty and it should make it back round the whole field. So if we go into here, let's turn this over to AI. Like so, and then we just want to pull it back a little bit so it will readjust itself anyways, and then we'll set this off here. We'll then take this tractor up to the top of the field, so that's ready to then unload the combine when it gets to there, and then our new what are they doing? It just baffles me at times. Where are they even going? That's like, what? I did put it to start on headlands first, didn't I? Right, let's just finish this and then finish this little bit, which shouldn't be. Why is he going this way? Right, let's get that. Let's try. Let's try this again. We might as well cut this bit of a corner off now that's done. This is rather annoying. So let's cut this little bit off and let's try and get it to see whether it will do as it is told. This is, I think it's the only thing that I think FS22 workers were better. You could put it somewhere, you press it to go, and it had a certain degree of angle that it would work to. And that was, you knew where it was going. Whereas with this, now it's sort of got to pick and choose its lines. So right, let's just go a bit like this. Maybe because of the tram lines there, of why it didn't want to do it, I don't know. But right, let's start here. So go. Now what's it doing? That's all cut. Oh, I'm going to leave it. Let's take this to the top of the field. I think they're going to do they're going to go right the way around the field, realise that we're on this tram line, on this headland, sorry, and then it's going to come to there. But right, let's go. We'll empty this trailer out so we know that this is empty. And then we will get on, we'll do water, and we'll move pallets whilst that's messing around, and I'll try keep an eye in the top right corner to see whether it's full or not. So we're just going to put this into here for now. I know it's not into the corn dryer, but it's a lot shorter journey for us to go here than it is up there, and then we can just keep sending it over as and when we need to. Because we've got a bit, well, we've got 3 months before we need to, including this one, before we need to actually sell it. Right, let's leave this up at the top. Let's try to see where this worker's got to now, whether he's just going to be doing a whole lap round. Yeah, looks like he's doing a lap round the field of doing very, very little. Right, leave that there. Let's find this one. Let's take that off and we'll go to start leading some water. I knew I'd miss it, didn't I? I did say that I would, it would fill up and I wouldn't have a clue. Right, let's get this in, and then I imagine this is just going to sort of work its way. Will it do the right hand side first? I don't know. I may ever go doing it, get this trailer full and then leave it to the worker, but I do like to do lands. But instead, if I go down, keep going where they've started here, and then go to the right, I may be able to get all that into one trailer load, but I don't know. We definitely need a bigger water tanker, because that just takes forever. But we're going to have to go down the route of keeping one for propane, so barrels. So is it? There's the Alma one there. Okay, they're both the same, because obviously that's for the dryer mod as well. So I am going to say that we have to spend £90,000 on a new tanker. We're going to keep this one though, just in case, because I think if you look in the productions, the corn dryer, it's 50,000, so we can go and get the big one. My worry was that if in the propane tanker you can do it on the big one, it's to 32,000 litres, where if the dryer was say 25,000 litres, you would have to make sure that you get the propane empty before you can use it again, otherwise it's going to be a waste of money. And I think for the 8,000 litres that our little tanker does, that we've just been doing water with, I think that was £25,000. So it's a fair amount of cash when you look at it going to keep the dryer running. Anyways, we will focus on trying to have a look at getting this right hand side done, and we'll just keep going till we have that trailer done, which it shouldn't be too long because we've already put a load, well, we've put one full load in, so what will it be? Another 3 more? So what we are going to do, we're going to take this last load off the combine, so we'll get that empty, and then that can continue on a worker going down, to finish off this side of the field, which shouldn't cause it too many problems, although it will be. By the time it finishes this and get down to the bottom there, I'd imagine it's going to be full again. How much do we have? We should be well over 100,000 litres, I would have, in total, I would say. Interesting. We've only got 47. Is that... Oh, well, dried corn, we've got 23. So that must be all the corn. And is that production finished now? Oh, no, there's... Yeah. Okay, I was getting a bit worried there. So, yeah, there's 50,000 litres left of corn. We've obviously got 24, which is dried. Which do we lose? Yes, we lose 5 bits of corn. So it's 50 corn for 45 dried corn. So that's 50, 60, 75, and then what have we got here? 40. Yes, we're over 100,000 plus what we've got in here already. That's 14,100, and then whatever's left on the field, which is a fair amount. So AI worker, let's just set you off. Please say you're just going to do it nicely for us. Yeah, straight away setting off there. So we can, I will just empty this quickly and I'll bring it back when it's empty. So do we, how much is in the combine? So it's already almost on 50%. Just doing that tiny little piece there. Right, we are going to have to follow this down, and then when it's empty we'll take another load off it and then let it go from there. At least after it's gone down and come back up, it's a lot shorter trip, so it shouldn't be too bad, I wouldn't have thought, or at least I hope not. Well, we're 80% full. Will we make it to the end? No. So what we'll do is we'll just pull this back, and then what I think I am also going to do is to follow it all the way up there, making sure that we keep it as empty as possible. So, but that will just be something to do off camera. So let's take the worker off. Let's reverse here, and I'll also show you custom. Was it custom modding? I'm now uncertain it is custom modding. Have just released their John Deere combine. So we go on to here and down. So it's not that one. Is it this one, which is theirs? So this is what I'm thinking of going for when we change. So we'll brand. Whoa, okay. Let's go. Well, that's what I'd like. Something like £1 million. Whoa. All-wheel drive, four-wheel drive. Okay, there's a slight difference. Can those tracks not get a bit closer together? I don't get why it's doing white tyres. Well, anyways, we'll go for something like that. Spreader, axle length. Oh, that's that one. Don't like that. Standard. The exhaust. Where is the exhaust? It's in there, I'm guessing. Oh, hello. So you can put it up at the top. Brazilian exhaust. Interesting. And then model years. Their numbers. Oh, we can numbers oversize. That's probably fitting for. Well, would that be fitting for America? I don't know, to be fair. Attacher. Whoa, it's got so much. Well, so that's only 14,000 litres. So we'd want to go that way to get the big one. And that's adding another 10,000, well, over 10,000 litres, the capacity of what we're able to hold. And what's this? Look how big that pipe is. Well, I was thinking of doing that, but that's getting like extreme. What's this pipe design? Well, we'd have to go for design 2 for the longest one. But that's not much bigger in grain tank, and that's the X9. I don't know, that's really stumped me. I probably will go with the custom modding one because anyone can, well, anyone, and I'm sure have we used a John Deere before? I can't remember whether we've used a John Deere before, but it's nice to use different things, you know, especially in a game like Farm Sim. It's one of the brilliant things about it is because of the modding community, you have so much like choice and variety. Where if you were just to do base game all the time, you would soon get very bored of just choosing the same old things. And yes, you know, there's mods coming out all the time, but it gives you something to look forward to and wait, especially when you follow some people, you know, and you can see what the development of what they're making, yeah, and then know how long till it's coming out, which then leaves you with excitement. You know, it paves the way for the likes of if you wanted to do like a vintage survival, well, a vintage series, I should say. You couldn't do it really without the modders, which is ever so helpful. And then if you wanted to do survival or anything to do where you just start out with a chainsaw, a tractor, a trailer, you know, you want to start to make it a better playthrough, I would guess. You want to start with very, very little. But if you were to use, again, base game, you're starting with machinery, that's a couple 100,000 already. So sell that, you can make productions, and then you're flying. Right, that should now last a bit longer. There is a small slither right down at the bottom, but obviously with these being shorter trips, the combine's got to turn round more often than not. So we'll go tip this, bring this back here, and then I want to get onto our forklift and start moving these pallets. Our worker did a very, very good job finishing that field, and that concludes our harvest, you know, and the corn harvest. So it'll be very interesting to see actually how much dried corn we're going to get out of all this. But for this episode, though, we are going to go get this combine sold now because we no longer need it, I don't think. The only thing we could use it for is for a combining contract, but I think we've done enough of that now. And it's going to be very much moving ourselves into trying to get into when we can sell. Because when we're going to sell, we have a combine to buy, we have a planter to buy, and I would like to look at buying something along the slurry tanker route. Because our cows, if we just have a quick look, they should have a fair amount of slurry. Let's go over the cow barn. Well, yeah, so they're full. Well, if that's only 1,000 litres, there's an extension down the bottom. We're just gonna have to go have a look and see what's in that extension. But that's interesting. I would have thought it would have been more because 100,000 litres of slurry won't go very far at all. So I am just going to drop this here. Helps if I'm on the header. Drop that. Quite literally drop it. We'll put this onto the header trailer, and then, like I say, I just want to have a run round and have a look at the slurry extension at the bottom, because I don't understand why we have that there, but it's only saying that we can only have 100,000 litres. I've completely missed putting that dolly on, and in missing, I have made it a lot harder. Right, we're right up against the shed there. I can't go any. Right, there we go. So let's put that on, and again, we'll just check here. when the dialogue box was. So slurry, 100,000 litres. What is down here then? So down here, oh hello. We have. Why is it not? Why is there no collision? That's getting poop on your feet. Why is that not telling us what we can and cannot get? Is there a slurry point up here then? It's all really rather odd trying to work this out. Right, so as far as what I can see, there is nowhere bar that bottom for slurry, and we only have 100,000 litre storage. So I don't know whether it's worth us. Well, can we put another one in? Because 100,000 litres, you look at the size of these fields we're doing, that won't even do a field, I don't think. Well, anyways, we're going to get this up and get this sold. And we've timed it about right for the fuel consumption, because look, it's flashing. And this should make the bank balance look a bit healthier, although we cannot spend anything. Well, I think I mentioned that we're going to sell this, we're going to make a load of money, but then we can't spend it. But I'm thinking I'm just going to buy one thing. Surely one thing would be more than all right. You all right there, fella? Right, let's go on to here. So repair. We can't even repaint it. Oh dear. I don't think it'll make too much difference. We can repair everything though, and we can repaint that, so that's fine. This we will repair and repaint. So let's sell the header first. So there's 108,000 there for us. The trailer, which won't be a lot, just over 15.5, and the combine 262. So let's buy that. And so now we're up to 415,500. We will just, no, not that button. We're going to go for this button. We're going to go buy that, which is only going to cost us 29 grand because we've got 25% discount. So now with that bought, let's go visit it. So this is our new bit of woodland, and this is what we're going to start felling in, well, I'd imagine over the winter months. Fell all of this, which unfortunately, look at that, the trees don't look to be the biggest. That's annoying. Oh well. So all these trees I imagine are ours, and then these ones won't be. Let's just have a quick look just so... Oh no, they're ours. So we must go... Where's our boundary? Did it go to here? Right, so we're off the boundary. So from here up that way, these are all our trees. But yeah, we'll make our way cutting through all of this. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've all liked and enjoyed the video, and I will see you again in the next one. Bye for now.